and people. Anything and anyone causing a ripple in the community. And now, let's dive in to the Splash Live.
Good morning, West Bloomfield, and welcome to the Splash Live. Dave Scott here in our Splash Live studios, and thank you very much for joining us for half an hour of live local television. We do it every Monday through Friday right here on Civic Center TV. Starts out with the Splash Live, then we head over to Tyler Keefe and the MegaCast at 10 o'clock. Very local show for the next half hour, then a little bit more geography. We'll broaden it a little bit, take a look at Oakland County and the state as well. Thank you for watching across all of our platforms, and there are a ton of them. You're watching this morning on Civic Center TV, channel 15, over on Comcast, of course, and then on AT&T on channel 19. Thank you very much for watching at our website as well at civiccentertv.com. You can go there, catch us in full high definition, and then also be able to catch all of our archives at civiccentertv.com. We're streaming this morning all over social media, on Facebook and on YouTube. Search for Civic Center TV. And then it wouldn't be any fun if we weren't on the radio, especially considering our guests today. We're on 89.3 Lakes FM. So thank you very much for joining us wherever you happen to be. Weather-wise, wow. I mean, wow, what a weekend we had. Was that spectacular? It really felt like we were in March already. Temperatures were in the 50s and sunshine. And hey, take a look at that. We're already up to 33 degrees. We expect 50 for a high, and look at that. Nice bit of sunshine today. 52 tomorrow. Wait a minute. Did we get, is it really going to be 61 on Wednesday? I'm going to Orchard Lake and getting out my bathing suit. It's going to be fantastic. Thank you very much for all of this lovely, lovely weather. On the program today, we're going to be joined by Michelle and Byron Cancelmo. Very good friends of mine, amazing local musicians, live right here in West Bloomfield. One of the hardest working bands that I know. A little footage of them, and they got a really big show coming up. Byron and Michelle are always working hard at creating entertainment options for you, and you know what? They live right here in town, so we're going to talk to them, find out what it's like to have a day job, be working musicians, and just learn a little bit more about everything they've done in the community, bringing two lovely young daughters through the West Bloomfield High School, and a whole lot more. So they join us in just a minute here on Civic Center TV. So the Orchard Lake Fine Arts Show we found out last week is coming back. It'll be here this summer. The 20th anniversary of the Orchard Lake Fine Arts Show, July 29th and 30th. Be sure to mark your calendar. It'll be happening right there on Orchard Lake Road. If you're an artist and you want to get involved, still not too late. Go to hotworks.org for all the information. A lot of fun on the social media sites this morning, and I was able to find some pictures of the West Bloomfield Public Library, Me and My VIP Day that happened at the West Acres branch late last week. Look at these cute kids. Aren't they just amazing? Me and My VIP Day is where you bring your youngsters and the parents and families all get together and learn more about the library. So it was a great day out there. A lot of very important people attend Me and My VIP Days at the West Acre branch each and every year. It's an annual event, and good job to get the youngsters involved in the library at a very early age. One of our favorite events, too, in West Bloomfield every year is the Daddy-Daughter Dance. And talking about cute, check these pictures out. So dads bring their daughters to this dance this year, bigger than ever, over at Temple, Israel. And congratulations to all of those folks that took time to get together and have some very special family moments. Isn't that really what it is all about? Congratulations over West Bloomfield High School to the Laker figure skating team. They ended their regular season. I didn't even know we had a figure skating team. We got figure skating teams and snowboarding teams and sailing teams. It's not all about just football and basketball. But the figure skating team doing a great job this year. That was a picture getting ready for their big move off to the state tournament after winning their final game at home and then also winning the district. So congratulations to the figure skating team. Mark your calendar for the 51st Annual Michigan Week celebration coming up in May. But now is the time, I know that's a long way off, but now is the time to nominate people in the community that have been doing an amazing job of volunteering in one area or another, your nominations need to be in place by February 17th, coming up pretty soon at 12 midnight. No nominations taken after that. All nominees must have lived, worked, volunteered, or attended school in Greater West Bloomfield. That doesn't mean they had to attend school at West Bloomfield per se. It could be any of the school districts, Walled Lake, Pontiac, Bloomfield Hills, any of the school districts in our greater, as we call it, Greater West Bloomfield area. Previous award winners are not eligible in any one category, but there are a lot of categories. So if you know somebody who's really making a difference in the community, why not go to michiganweek.org/nominate. Another big event we have here every year, and it's right around the corner. It's a State of the Community. So last week we had the State of the Union, and all the county and local municipalities are getting into the fun too. We do it with the State of the Communities. Mark your calendar for March 13th. We're going to be at West Bloomfield Middle School, the beautiful new West Bloomfield Middle School, and it's an opportunity to hear from our local elected leaders and find out what's going on in all the communities. So joining us will be Rob Kalman, the mayor of the city of Keego Harbor, Norm Finkelstein, the mayor of the city of Orchard Lake Village, Jim Cowper from Sylvan Lake, and Steve Kaplan from West Bloomfield. We're also going to be joined by Dr. Danya Bazzi, our superintendent of schools. A lot going on there. They're going to be coming to voters, and they've got a lot to talk about. Coming to voters and asking for help and money to continue to develop our school district and our facilities. So plenty to talk to all of them about. We'll take a look at what's been going on and what is yet to come. And finally this morning, mark your calendar for the 2023 Black Expo happening February 25th from 10 to 1. If you want to get involved, there's still opportunity for you to set up a booth and show some of your wares. And if you have something interesting and unique you think the community would be interested in, we'd love to have you. It's all put on by the West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force, and it is the Black Expo coming to Orchard Mall. We will be there broadcasting live. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes, and we're delighted to be joined today by Byron and Michelle Cancelmo. We'll find out what they're up to and a whole lot more. Good morning, I'm Dave Scott. You're watching The Splash Live, and we'll be right back.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. It's that time of year, Greater West Bloomfield. Our towns gather together this March for the 5th annual State of the Communities. Important figures from Sylvan Lake, West Bloomfield, Orchard Lake, and Keego Harbor discuss the past year's projects and developments. Hear presentations from speakers, discussions on plans of action, and more. The 5th annual State of the Communities, March 13th at 7 p.m. at the new West Bloomfield Middle School. WB Parks and the West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force once again invite you to the 2023 Black Expo. Drop by Orchard Mall and tour demos and displays that highlight Black business owners, resources, and careers. Bring your friends and family to shop around local vendors and support their hard work and dedication to their craft. Come on down Saturday, February 25th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Orchard Mall in West Bloomfield. The 2023 Black Expo. And now, back to The Splash Live.
Good morning. Welcome back to The Splash Live. Dave Scott here in our Civic Center TV studios. Congratulations to the West Bloomfield girls basketball team. 11-0, perfect record this season so far. They had a big competition last Friday night in the OAA Red, their local division, taking on Southfield A&T, performed well. The score was up in the 80s, an amazing performance. Clearly, we have the best girls basketball team in the state of Michigan. They're the defending state champions, and they are on a tear, doing really good, playing really good basketball. Hopefully you get a chance to see them on Civic Center TV last Friday night. If you didn't get out to one of their games, this Friday night we will be back live at West Bloomfield High School covering the men's program as they take on Farmington. So should be a lot of fun. More of that coming up throughout the week. Right now joining us, we're delighted to have in the studio with us Byron and Michelle Cancelmo. Good morning, you guys. Good to have you here. Thank you for stopping by.
We love any chance we can meet up with you.
Well, we don't get a chance to have visitors in our studio very often, so it's awful good to have you here.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
So Byron and Michelle, other than being good friends of mine, which ain't easy, let's be honest, Byron and Michelle are amazing musicians. They have a big show coming up, and it is the Byron Cancelmo Legacy Show, and Byron will be performing the voices of Tom Jones, Neil Diamond, Elvis, and then Michelle does the most amazing Karen Carpenter. You get rid of the blonde hair and you've got a black wig, and you just like magically turn in to Karen Carpenter. And Michelle, that can't be easy because of just the tonal range that made Karen Carpenter famous, just being able to get into the lower tones in the lower part of the range.
It's true. I mean, that is where my comfort zone is, so I'm lucky in that sense. But yeah, I mean, to compare to her, it's not easy. So.
I mean, you must like her music, or you wouldn't.
I love her music.
You wouldn't be doing.
I grew up with it. So.
Yeah, me too. And so it's so fun to see you do what you do. And Byron, it's so much fun to watch you sing the songs that you grew up with and you love from the artists we just mentioned. Mm-hmm. So tell me, how did you decide to get into this and performing these classic songs and pick the artists that you really like?
Well, there was a singing contest at Oakland Mall in 2014. My sister from Massachusetts found out about it somehow on social media, and I went there and I sang a song, and I was in the contest, and it was a couple-month contest, and I ended up winning the whole competition. And the coaches that put it on asked me if I knew any Tom Jones or if I could sing Elvis, that my voice, my tonal range is in that wheelhouse. So they introduced some songs to me. I sang them in the studio, and they loved it. They wanted to put me on American Idol and do all kinds of stuff like that. Or not American Idol, but America's Got Talent. And,
right.
But with work, with family, with responsibilities, it's just, I'm happy at home. I'm happy with my current situation. Singing is sort of a passion. It's fun. But I love the idea of creating a show locally because no one around here was doing anything like that. There's plenty of Elvis impersonators, but rather than impersonate, I would just sing and create the impression of Tom Jones, Engelbert, Neil Diamond, these characters. But as you sing and study these guys, you somehow sort of channel their performances. Actually, kind of you organically perform like them as you're singing like them. It's my own voice, but there's nuances in there. But it was so much fun and joy. I ended up putting a 12-piece band together. So we're doing it very professionally, very Vegas style, pulling out all the stops with production. And, so you have great sound, great lighting, and type A musicians. So every musician in the band is as good as you're going to get on any touring band. So our show is truly spectacular and a lot of fun. And it gives us the energy. When you have that full sound, that precision band, then we can just really pour it on strong.
There's nothing wrong with doing a gig with your iPad, right? And all the background music, and a lot of musicians do that now. It's a pretty cool way to be able to perform and just like walk into a club and do a thing. But this is totally different. And when you've got that band and you're playing these songs, you transform mentally in your head too, and you just become Elvis. You just become Neil Diamond.
Yeah, the show comes and goes in a blink, and I have no idea what is going on. As soon as that microphone hits my hand, and I think same for Michelle, the performance takes over, and I don't know. It's just
I wasn't convinced that
the nerves go away.
I wasn't convinced with Michelle, and then when she got into Nancy Sinatra and did "His Boots Are Made for Walking," and then just kind of took over, you must have loved that song. I mean, that's like you're Nancy Sinatra when you're doing that.
Yeah, that one is fun, and everyone really seems to enjoy that one. They get into it. I have people sometimes show up with boots and want to get up and dance and sing with me because it's just one of those fun ones that everyone knows.
And this is a great West Bloomfield story because you guys live in West Bloomfield. You've raised your family here in West Bloomfield, put 2 daughters through West Bloomfield schools. They're through college now and doing their thing. And you've had to balance all that. But in addition, Byron, I think one of the things that makes you guys special is that you can play the music, but you're a promoter too. You can put all this together, and we've really enjoyed seeing some of these events. Now, this event isn't in Keego Harbor at Santia, but you've done a lot of events right here in our community.
Right. So I would team up with Santia Banquet Hall. Our daughter, you mentioned, one of our daughters was danced, and actually when Shannon's Dance Academy in Keego Harbor first opened their doors, Celia was 2 and began dancing there. So I've had Shannon's Dance Academy dancers perform to Boots Are Made for Walking, dance along with Michelle singing to kind of give that retro feel. So I like to bring in our community a little bit. The chorale section of West Bloomfield High School, I've had come in on a number of shows and perform either Christmas concerts or actually sing background vocals in big patriotic songs such as Coming to America or God Bless the USA, I think that's the name.
Sure.
And Cheryl Hoke, as it turns out, the music director for the chorale, we've enjoyed her company, and she's been heavily engaged and a big promoter herself of what we're doing. She is now a backing vocalist in our group, and we're going to.
So she'll be at this concert that we're going to talk.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
But the story kind of ends April 14th because it's going to be our last show.
Okay.
So we did a show in. I think it was when was our last show on the west side? Was it August or something like that? So we did a show at Keego Harbor at Santia, ending the west side show, and then we're doing our final one on the east side, and it's 3/4 sold out, and we've got two more months left. So it's very exciting.
Little surprises people haven't seen before.
Yeah, so Michelle and I are both 55 this year, and it's our 30th year anniversary.
We're just getting started. Come on,
getting started.
Look, Byron, the Who did this last show tour. Rod Stewart did the last show tour. Yeah. But I get it. I'm not going to beat you up about that today. But no, I mean, at some point it does become you got other things to get that you want to do in your life.
I do have. We talked about day jobs. So I took on a new job, which is I've been in the HVAC rental emergency business for 20 years, and I just took on a new job which has amplified my responsibilities even more. Far more transactions. It could be a Friday night call, Saturday night call, and I can't be on stage and worrying about taking care of a customer or a hospital that might be down or losing their cooling
and just to fill in for our audience, in your day job, you really bailed us out because it was your company when the air conditioning system fell apart at the West Bloomfield Township Library. Yeah. You came in and brought these massive temporary air conditioners in to, so it's good to have you in our community.
There. The chiller is actually still there.
You're still using it?
Starting it up in April because supply chain issues, and that's so more now than ever. It's so important that someone like me is out there. There's other companies that do what I do, but because they're not getting their new equipment installed in their buildings, when they go to do startups, they have to rent. So the business is very busy, and you have to have the right mindset. You have to understand the challenges. You have to understand how to simulate a business's permanent HVAC system with a rental, and make it seem like nothing happened for like the workers, the people that are running their day-to-day business. So,
well, I'll tell our audience that you guys, I follow you on Facebook, as a lot of your personal friends and fans do, and you never know when you're just going to break out in the basement and get out your music, your instruments, and go live on Facebook. So, maybe you'll still be able to do that after this big show.
100%. All our big gear is down in our basement, so we make a lot of noise down there.
All right. I'm not going to tell people exactly where you live in West Bloomfield, but I'm sure your neighbors already know really well where you are. You talk about some of the things you've done in the community. You mentioned some of the shows. One of the ones that stands out is you guys performed at the very first food truck rally that we held at Orchard Mall. That was a great event on stage, lots of people there. And, every time that there's been some opportunity for something surrounding live music in the community, you've been there for the community. So it's fun. It's got to be fun to perform around family, friends. Your daughter's right, a half mile from where you live.
Yeah,
This was the first year that we didn't do casino night as well for the schools.
Right. So, it's really good to have you here. I'm really excited. Tell people about your show. We've got some art here we can put up on the screen. But tell people about this big show on April 14th. And this one isn't happening in West Bloomfield. I'll have to drive a little bit, but talk about it.
So It's at the IACS. It's Italian American Cultural Society. It's a banquet facility, and it's not just for members. It's anyone who wants to go. The tickets are available at a link. It's IACS April 14th.eventbrite.com.
Okay, we'll say that again in a minute because that was a lot, but go ahead. Where people are going, we'll put it back up on the screen so people can see it.
I haven't seen a show sell so quickly before. We have, it's a 330 capacity room, and we want to make sure we limit the space. So during the show, people like to back out their chairs, turn and watch the show. And in doing so, there's traffic. You can't go, in and out.
Right.
The men's room or whatever, the restroom. So we limit it to 330. We're at about 280 now, and the show's 2 months away. So it will sell out. So if there's any neighbors, anyone in the West Bloomfield area that hadn't seen the show or are curious, now is the time to do it. Every seat's going to be great, and we're going to have incredible sound production, video production. I know that you'll be there.
Yeah, well, that's why we're getting together, because we're going to go walk over while we're going to drive over and go check it out to make sure we get a really good video and all the production is right.
It's a dinner show, so there'll be family-style Italian food. They're known for their Italian food, so but there'll be something for everyone. So if you're gluten-free, you'll have gluten-free choices. But it's always delicious. Everyone raves about the music, and the entertainment's going to be off the hook. We're going to be running on all cylinders. The band's super excited. We do have some surprise guests that'll be attending. It's just going to be a locomotive.
Come on, you can tell us, right? No one's watching. No one's going to know.
So.
No, it'll be great. We're really looking forward to it. So it's going to be Friday, April 14th. And tickets are $65 a person, but that includes a show, that includes a meal, that's the whole thing. And you can go to the Eventbrite site. We'll put the poster up one more time. It's got the URL. And I think if I scroll up the page here a little bit, I'll do that. There's the QR code, right? So if you're watching, you can just hit that QR code with your phone, and then you don't have to worry about it. If you're listening on the radio, what you need to do right now is pull over to the side of Walnut Lake Road or Orchard Lake Road. Don't try to write this down while you're driving. I'll give this to you real slow. It's IACS April 14.eventbrite.com. Everyone knows eventbrite.com. You can get the tickets right there. Do you like performing in a dinner theater setting? Because you've done a lot of these dinner theater shows.
Yeah, I would say, we've played at bars, but a dinner show, that's the purpose of you being there. When you go to a concert, a ballet, you're there, you want to be entertained, and the people on stage want to entertain you. They don't want to see people kind of looking over and having conversations or walking in and out, a mix. It's a concentrated visual for both us as performers. We get a lot of energy off people that are having a good time when they're showing that they're having a good time, and we just keep it just keeps us energized.
Talk about the connection that people have to this era of music. We've had obviously the Elvis movie come out, right? When I first started watching your show, I wasn't a big fan of Tom Jones. I didn't really know his library. But you get up and you start doing those songs, and everyone's singing along with every word. Talk about the connection that people still have to these artists.
Well, one of the things, Tom Jones, back in the 60s, the early 60s, he was into blues. And when he started singing big ballads and pops, it wasn't until It's Not Unusual that he became famous, because it's sort of a poppy tune.
Sure.
And so they kind of stuck to that genre. He's never written a song in his life other than Currently. So it was all those popular songs that other artists had sang that he did incredibly well with his own big, powerful voice, his baritone, near operatic ranges.
Right.
And a lot of his library includes several catchy songs like She's a Lady, Delilah, I Who Have Nothing, of course, It's Not Unusual, Love Me Tonight, Help Yourself. These are songs that are a lot of fun that I didn't even realize were out there.
And then you shift over to Neil Diamond, who did write all of his library and half of everybody else's library.
Yeah.
And his songs are they've had huge staying power. The kids are, singing them still.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's humbling to be doing it, especially for the age group, the demographic that's coming to our shows. It's younger people are interested in our show. You know, they maybe saw us once with their parents, and now they want to go and see us again. So it's like the music attracts, you know, the kids in their 20s and up. But you know, our age groups, you know, 70 plus folks are coming in, 80, 90-year-olds are coming in, and they're remembering the show. They're remembering the Tom Jones, Neil Diamond, and Elvis of that era, and it brings them back. It brings the memories back of when those guys were putting albums out.
And what you guys do is so amazing, because you think about, you know, losing Elvis too early. Definitely, Michelle, losing Karen Carpenter too early. Maybe the saddest story of all of these stories.
32 years old.
I mean, just think. I mean, she could still be performing today.
Absolutely.
Just think if her career had played out, what we might have seen from Karen Carpenter.
Yeah, because Richard still goes around. Yeah.
Right. Well, it's fun to watch the documentaries that are all over. If you haven't seen one, they're all over YouTube, and I've watched every single one of them. But
there's a new one coming out.
Oh, is there?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'm not sure when, but I just read about it.
So when people see you all dressed up, doing the songs, you come off stage, do they want to talk to you as Karen Carpenter? Maybe not.
Well, I think most people who know me are just more fascinated with that I'm not blonde and I'm wearing a wig, because it is a little like, whoa, big change.
It is a transformation. You know, I love your Neil Diamond, but what's your favorite to perform? Do you have one, or do you like them all?
I love, you know, some of the big ballad Tom Jones songs that I sing, because it's like when you're working out and you're like running as fast as you can. You're going through that finish line. When you're doing a crescendo or holding a long note and you're controlling that air, there's something fulfilling and fun about it. It's a joy. But the words, the messages of the song, I'm singing what the song is about, and then when you get into those emotional vocal, and it's also big air, big, you know, it's physically laborsome to do it. It's exhilarating. It's just so much fun. It's like my drug.
All right. Well, if you haven't seen these two on stage, they say this is it, so I'll take them at their word. If you haven't seen these two on stage, don't miss this opportunity. It's going to be a great show. I'll be there, no question about it. We'll try to capture it on video, but you want to be there in person. I've seen the show with the band. The band is great. It's a lot of fun. I know you're going to enjoy it. Mark your calendar, Friday, April 14th, West Bloomfield Zone, Michelle and Byron Cancelmo, and the Byron Cancelmo Legacy Show coming up. And tickets available again, one more time, IACS, April 14.eventbrite.com. You're going to want to see it. And two great people. Thanks for everything you do for our community. Good to have you here, Byron and Michelle. Hey, that's going to be it for today. Thank you for tuning into The Splash. We'll be back bright and early tomorrow morning. Tyler Keefe is standing by, and he, of course, will have the Michigan Megacast, all part of an hour and a half of live local programming each and every day right here on your hometown channels. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Dave Scott. See you.